Abiola Odetola is a dedicated leader from Abeokuta, Ogun State, committed to positive change and community enhancement. With over a decade of experience in project management, he focuses on public advocacy and governance, particularly in youth development. Abiola founded the Ogun Youth Awards, an active network advocating for youth engagement and development policies. His initiatives like the Citizens Corner radio program and the hashtag Teachers for Dave project has impacted thousands. Abiola's commitment to youth empowerment led to his appointment as a special assistant to the governor of Ogun State, focusing on job creation and youth empowerment. He is also involved in environmental sustainability efforts and supports startups. A respected public speaker, Abiola's visionary leadership makes him a catalyst for positive change in Ogun State and Nigeria. AFEC FUNAAB Conference 2024 with a loud ovation, make welcome Abiola Odetola.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to first appreciate the organizers for bringing me here to speak to you. Every opportunity to speak to young people delights me, and I take it very seriously. I believe strongly that our ability to have a thriving community stems from us communicating as young people first. Secondly, every little effort to bring young people together to discuss the future of Nigeria, Ogun State, Africa is important, and as such, all invitations, and I mean this, all invitations that gets to me, I try to honor them. Now, I haven't said that. So this is what we are going to do. I was told to speak to us on visionary leadership, right, and innovation in governance or government. And then in my head, I'm thinking, how many of you, by chance, was qualified to vote in the last election in Nigeria? I mean, please, I want hands up. Probably about 30%, 40% of us. But you were all probably online, either advocating for one person or abusing the other person, right? And I can bet if I put the mic to everybody in this hall right now, you are unhappy with Nigeria as it is because the economy is biting. Abi? Fantastic. Now think about it. In your family, right? What role do you play? In your family, what role do you play? Some of you are first child, some of you are the last. But you have a role even if you are the last. Right? Now, think about each state in Nigeria as a family. Think about each country in Africa as a family. Think about each continent in the world as a family. Right? Someone has to take the responsibility of leadership, right? I'm trying to break it down so that we will not bore ourselves, right? There must be somebody at the helms of affairs in your family that takes decision on the direction that family will go, right? And for families that are very meticulous, families that are very posh, you sit down to discuss what the vision of the family would be, right? Some families are like that. Not my family, though. I'm Ajapako, right? But some families are like that. You sit down, every member of the family, mother, father, the children, you sit down and say, this is what we are going to do. Maybe your dad. Typically for African, homes, it is the father that is what? The head. Now that man is the one that is saddled with the responsibility of thinking of what the vision of that family name will be. Right? Now think about, like I said, I want you to follow me, the stories I'm giving you. Now think about each country, each state in Nigeria or in Africa as a family. It means that somebody must lead. Right? I'm sure I cannot start defining vision for you guys. You know what the vision is. You know who a leader is. Right? You know about government. Right? And you know innovation, you have heard a lot and definitions of that here. Now, we are saying, how does visionary leadership, right, in a place of, say, your family, which is now Nigeria, right, and Africa, right, how does it help us to achieve prosperity and sustain prosperity for the community, for the continent, as it were, right? How many of you have heard of Nelson Mandela before? What do you remember him for? I need someone to say something. Just a word. I want one word or two. How would you describe his person? Freedom, legend. What made him a legend? Anybody? What made Nelson Mandela a legend? Amazing. She said prisoner. It's not a waste, but there is a reason. I'm going somewhere. Human right what? Fantastic. But let me make it simple. She's right. He was a prisoner at a time in his life. He led South Africa, but he had a vision for that country. Right? There was something he wanted for South Africa. Now he is dead, but he has it. South Africa has achieved the Nelson Mandela's dream. Right? How many of us know about Abiola in Nigeria? What do you remember Abiola for? What? Free education. Now that is what we, in simple words, in simple language, without you making a mess of putting too much big grammar together, that is what visionary leadership looks like. A person that leads the path, takes the other people from one place and sees, they don't even want to go there. Some people do not want to go to school. They don't even know that they need it. What you need as a person, what the community needs, what it sees beyond now. And it takes those people there, even if the person is dead. Right? Now we are saying, how then in this age and time where innovation is the order of the day, at a time where we have seen nanotechnology, we have seen almost everything that seemed impossible has been achieved with technology or can be achieved with technology. How then can we begin as Africans to inculcate, to instill, to include or to inject innovation into governance? How can the leaders of Africa, from Africa, how can the leaders of the future, you people, you're already leading from your homes, don't forget. Right? How are you? How many of you have family WhatsApp group? How many? Almost everybody. Do you know how easy it is to have family meetings now? That's what we're talking about. Right? So you can decide. Don't forget what I told you earlier. You can decide the fate of your family, discuss what we want for your family from WhatsApp. That's what innovation. It is innovation. Right? But I'm trying to simplify it so that you understand where we're going. The problems, the challenges of Africa, the problem of Nigeria, the problem of Ogun State is easy for all of us to see. We have spoken a whole lot about the problem. We all know what the problems are. The question is, how do we create first visionary leaders that will begin to use innovation to rule, to govern, to manage the affairs of our country, of our state, of our local government, and all of that. Now, my question to you all, in your minds, when you come to school in the morning, I know FUNAAB has, FUNAAB is not a university like the university I finished from, where everybody stayed outside campus. Everybody. We never had hostel. Right? OOU, there was no hostel in the school. We were living like a normal person. You were outside. You transport yourself to school. So we could feel the pain of Nigeria. When you wake up every day and you come to school, FUNAAB, how many of you come to school looking for challenges, problems, and you think that these are the possible solutions to make life for other students, for yourself, for lecturers, for everybody to be better? How many of you do that? How many of you have done anything like that? You have written to the Dean of Student Affairs that, sir, I believe that the spate of accident that happens between the gate and the main, center of school, the way people speed from the gates to this place is bad. Maybe we should create a pedestrian walkway. I can see that they were doing it right now when I was walking in. And I asked the security that, what is this? He told me, and I said, that is what innovation. On the street of some European countries, you now have bicycle lanes, aside from pedestrian lanes. Why? Because bicycle also kills pedestrians, and then cars also kill cyclists. I don't know if you understand. Now, what am I trying to do here? I don't want to be doing too much of grammar. I'm simplifying it. I'm bringing it home for you all to see. Consider FUNAAB. How do you guys pronounce it earlier? FUNAAB. I don't know. Consider FUNAAB as Nigeria. What is your role in it? How do you help the leader of this institution, of this country, FUNAAB? Right? How do you help him govern with innovation? How many suggestions? Because if you look at it, innovation lives in the heart of the young people. They are bubbling with it. Gen Z's own it. Right? You don't expect Professor to be the one bothering about the next innovation on how to solve one Java problem or one coding issue. It is basically a young people's industry. Let me put it that way. That doesn't mean that older people don't play in it. But it is our industry. And when people speak of the future and they bring professors, people that are 60, 70, older people to speak to the future, this future, they might never live in it. Do you understand that? But how do we as young people begin to, one, identify indeed one who a visionary leader is? So what I would say is this. The problem in Africa, we know, but I will quickly put some things down so that you guys can get it. One, the process of how people become leaders is messed up. The people, that is the pool where we pick our leaders from, is messed up. We have a people's problem in Nigeria and Africa. Everybody knows that, right? If we are going to choose a student union president, it has to come from within the student of the school, right? And if that student union president, right, is bad, is not visionary, is not using the innovation and all of that, is a sample of all of you. Do you understand that? So to start with, selection process in how people emerge as leaders in Africa has to be properly interrogated. And if it's going to be interrogated, it has to be from young people like you. Why? You need to understand and know that this person, he doesn't have it. What are his credentials? What can he do? What has he done before? I'm not talking about some social media gimmicks that somebody will come online and sell lies to you. Can you, within yourself, check and consider and assess and guarantee that, oh, this person, no, he has stuff? Can you identify stuff when you see it? There's a saying we used to say real recognize real, right? It means that if you do not know, you probably will not know a man that knows. Right? So how do you identify that this leader is a visionary one? If you do not know. So as a population of young people, we need to first know. And how do we know? She has mentioned it. Scale up. You must learn something. And I'm not talking about you being in school. You are learning, I get it. But you must continue every day, chase knowledge. When I was I'm sorry that I'm going to make it personal. Every time, or about 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago, when people ask me, what do you like? I say, I like to chase knowledge. They will just look at me, you my phone for them. And I'm telling you, I'm not a first class graduate. I did everything that a student used to do, a student can do in school. Everything that you can imagine that a student would do, I did it. Every goddamn thing that they did when I was in school, I did it. And what did I gain from that? There is no better way to learn than doing. There is no better way to learn. I put it to you. If you want to know how to speak, start speaking. If you want to know how to walk, start walking. If you want to know how to jog, start jogging. If you want to lead, start leading. You have to start doing it. If you are not doing it, you will not know it. You can conceive it, but you will not know. So if from today, from this moment, think about it. How do you know who can lead? And it has to start from your campus. And when you go home, you now tell mommy, mommy, don't see that Bodakini, he can do this. I think he should be the one that will manage this because I've done my SWOT analysis about him. He knows how to do it. And then when they want to, election period, you will also be able to convince your parents because they believe in you that, oh, so person, I think he has this, he has that. So that is gone. Identifying who can lead is important. We need to rigid. All this responsibility is not all yours, but I'm bringing it down to you because this is my audience. The process of who becomes candidates of each political party, for instance, which might be beyond you, right, is also something that we need to check. But what I'm saying is that as a people, right, as a people, all of us in Nigeria, if we improve our knowing, if we increase what we have within ourselves, we'll be able to identify who is better. So it means that the members of each political party will also know who is better. You understand the logic? It's as simple as that. Now, aside that, a leader would be able to identify problems, spot problems and challenges coming, right? Identify opportunities. A great deal. You identify, oh, these are the opportunities here, right? And also be able to harness all of these, both the challenges and opportunity, to create something sustainable for the future. That is why the person is a visionary leader. Now, in the place of innovation, right, for governance, you have to look at it. Look at what is happening in Rwanda. How many of you are very current? How many of you are very good with current affairs? They have improved e-governance in Rwanda to the point that all the bureaucratic bottlenecks that you see in ministries, in government business, has reduced drastically. Innovation, using technology. And we've tried it also in Ogun State, trying to match job seekers with employers. You create a job board. Ogun State government created a job board. Oh, if you are looking for a job, go on that platform, apply. You don't have to leave your homes. You don't have to take your CV to your uncle or be looking for somebody that knows the commissioner. You know all of that. Democratize it. So in your room, instead of you pressing or bothering yourself with Instagram and all of that, you can use that platform to seek employment, as it were. And then that government is innovating to solve what problem? Unemployment problem. Right? So they have identified what? A challenge. Right? And they want to find a way to do what? To solve it. But don't forget that some problems are recurrent. You can't kill it. There will always be people that need employment, for instance. Right? It is impossible, right, for you to find a place where everybody is actively working. In some places, like Germany, right, their working population has reduced because the older people that were working, they're fading and people are not giving birth. Can you see that their own problem is unique? Now they are thinking in that place, that how do we get people to work? Now that's not their own problem because they don't have the labor. Right? You understand? But that is their unique problem in that place. But we are saying that in everywhere in Africa, right, we must find a way to harness the energies, the brilliance, the minds of young people that are using technology to do wonderful things into governance. Why can't we vote, for instance, right, without necessarily going online? Why can't we do e-voting? Right? I'm just giving you, like that's an example. Yes, that comes with a lot of challenges, right? But then it is doable if we set a timeline for it. Do you understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the time, don't forget that leader that is visionary, right, is not necessarily the one that has his foot on the ground or his hands on everything at all time. It's just someone that is able to identify individuals that are able to do each work part-time. Do you all understand what I'm saying? Am I boring you guys? Is it boring? Do you understand what I'm saying at all? And it makes sense. Now let me jump to the last part of my conversation on this topic. The last part of it is that because we have identified that the population, the demography, right, that can innovate are young people, right? We have agreed that the people that can innovate the most are young people, right? Are we together? We have identified that the people that can innovate the most are young people, right? And we want to innovate in government. What do? We get young people into government. I don't know if it makes sense. Does it make sense? So the concept of inclusivity. How do we get more people? Inclusiveness. How do we get all strata of our communities? How do we get more young people? How do we get more females? How do we get every strata of the community in Africa How do we get them on board? How do we ensure that young people are not just a tool for ballot box snatching, or for political hooligans, or political terrorism, and all of that? How do we ensure that even as young people, we would not be or partake in anything that will make us defame, malign, attack, or bully anybody, both physically or online? You know, a lot of online bullies exist now. People bully people more online than offline, unlike before, right? Because if you look at what happened in the last election, for instance, there was a movement. I know some of you will belong to that movement. You know the movement I'm talking about. What movement is it? Obedience. I don't belong to obedience movement at all. I had a different political stance, opinion, and all of that. But that doesn't mean that you people do not have the right, the people that belong to it do not have the right to. But where the line is crossed is where an individual or a group of persons begin to attack other people because of their choices, political, economic, social, religious, whatever choices that you've made. It's your choice. Nobody should attack you for it. Right? And since it is a democracy, we must learn, right, to live with the choices of others, particularly when it affects us. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. At the end of the time, we need more young people to stop being attack dogs online, but rather become part of the think tank that is thinking for government. And the only way that we can get more young people to do that is if those young people package themselves, prepare themselves, humble themselves, right, and learn the ropes. You have to do it. It's a difficult task. On my way here, I posted something on my WhatsApp because I just jammed it on Instagram. Somebody said that it is a hard job to be a good man. Do you know what it means? It is a hard job to be a good man. For you to do good, it is hard. Do you know why? It takes extreme level of discipline for me to know how to use martial arts. I'm very good, black belt martial art guy, right? And I'm not using it. Why do you think I won't use it? When I see this man holding a phone that I like, and I have the skills to take it off him, and I'm not using that skill to take it because why? It is wrong. Do you get? I'm trying to be good. It takes extreme discipline. It is more difficult to be good than to be bad. It is easy to be bad. I'm telling you, it is easy. Very easy to be bad. Now, what we are discussing here, and I want you to interrogate it right here and when you get home. Because the major objective of this conversation is not just for me to come and blow grammar here and everybody goes home, sleep over it and go. What would delight me and my destiny that I brought to you to talk to you today is that after tomorrow, you begin to reason in a particular way so that we can engineer our society in a way that we can get more young people to do the right things, even if it is difficult. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. It is until more young people have stuff, that is when they can invite them to the table. That's the truth. And when you now have the stuff, you also have to humble yourself to rise, because you do not know. The Yorubas will say that, they will say that what is more a young boy is seen on the roof of the palm tree. If you get on top of the palm tree, who knows cocoa house? You sit on cocoa house. What you are seeing on the ground, as you are seeing it clearly, right, cannot be up to what a wise old man that is seated on the mat is seeing. Because seeing and sight is not really by opening your eyes. It's by sight. It's within. So you have to learn. Even though you can innovate, you have ideas, your head is bubbling with ideas. How do you make those ideas, sell it to the leadership or to your leaders, community leaders, party leaders, whoever it is? How do you sell it to them and solve the problem for the community? And then you do not act like you want to outshine your master. Oh, I did it. Oh, it was my idea. It was my innovation. I did it for this. Immediately you start doing that, there will be a problem. And those people will not let you grow. Right? Let us assume that things are bad presently. The thought of every young man in Africa, right, should be that how do we make things better tomorrow? I don't know if you understand it. How do we make things better tomorrow? Not how do you ride a Benz today. Delayed gratification, that is what it's called. Delayed gratification. When she was saying, read profile, essay to the governor. No. Write it down. The journey of a man does not begin or end at the point of his first appointment. That appointment might not be political. It might be you getting employed in a bank, working anywhere that you want to work. Your life can never be determined by that first. Do you get it? It means that it is the beginning of a journey. Right? Thank you. Thank you. It is the beginning of a journey. So, for us to have a prosperous Africa, right, where we would always have people now travel Japa to Africa, right? You know, a lot of people, there's Japa syndrome now, right? It's affected me too. All my sisters have traveled abroad, so we can't see physically. It's sad. Everybody is being affected by it. Your loved ones, your friends of many years, they are living. What are they chasing? Prosperity, right? Safety. They want to excel. They want safety net. They want job security. Meanwhile, let me quickly speak to that. I learned recently, and I'm happy that I'm talking to undergrads here, that what you need is not job security. I no longer believe in job security. It's funny, right? And I've heard people speak here. I made some notes that I want to say something that is contrary to some of the things being said. And I want to also make this side note. Knowledge. When I was coming here, I came here to learn, relearn, and unlearn. That has to be the mind of every young person. Even old people. You must always be open to new ideas, to new learnings and all of that. Now, what did I learn? If you have job security, what is the highest you think, highest level of work that you think someone can get to in a bank? Managing director, MD, right? And you think that an MD in a bank, but the level of an MD in a bank, do you think he has job security? In your mind, do you think that person has job security? Because he's not the owner of the bank. He can get sacked any moment. He can get sacked. And that is MD of a bank. Do you know what an MD is? It's a big deal to be the MD of a bank. How many of you know Access Bank? You know Access Bank, of course. You know that the CEO of Access Holdings died recently, right? Many of you might not know that he and his friend, Ike, acquired that bank some years ago. Now, before they acquired that bank, there was an MD seated as MD at Access Bank. But immediately they bought the bank, the MD there was sacked. He lost his job. So my point is that if you're in the job market, you will either in a job or waiting to be sacked on a job. That's the truth. It's either you are seated in a position as you have a job, or you can be sacked. That's the honest truth. Or you yourself can move to another place. Do you get? But let me tell you what you need. And I want all of us to note it. You actually need employment security. There's a stark difference between job security and employment security. What is employment security? Employment security is at the point where you are good at what you do and you have visibility and you are very active. Even that, so much so that as you are doing the job, some other companies, some other people, they are seeing what you are doing and they are already saying, come and work with us now, we'll increase your salary. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Immediately they know that I heard that Osas Popov is leaving Sweet Sensation, right? As their chief chef on special whatever. Immediately, right? Burger King is saying we need Osas. Because why? Osas knows how to do it. It's visible. Everybody knows that he knows how to do it. So you will never be out of job. I don't know if you get it. So you need employment security, basically, such that you can walk out of a job and get another one. And to get there is a lot of work. And that is why we need more young people to increase their stuff, skill up, learn new things, learn how to communicate, learn how to solve issues, learn how to even mediate, solve rifts between you two friends, mediate. These are skills, negotiation skills. Learn it. These are skills that can earn you a fortune in this age. And these are skills that you need to rule, to lead. I don't know if you understand. So please, I want to believe that in the simplest of ways, I've made you to understand, without using all the tech words and all of that, that the road that will sustain Africa is laced presently with thorns, with broken bottles, with potholes, with lions, jackals, and all of that. A lot of threats. But the only way for us to get to a prosperous future for Nigeria, for Africa as a whole, is for us to get more young people that can think, innovate, get them into the places where they can use their innovation to get better things done for our society. And then we get also select set of leaders that are innovative, set of leaders that are how do you put it? What did you call them? Set of leaders that are visionary. Let me put it that way. And I also believe that the future of Africa is with me, with you, with Prof, with your parents, with everybody that lives here, and everybody that has that melanin pumping, even if they are not here. Right? From this day, we need to think forward for our country. And you have to think from your community first. And I hope that at the end of the time, whether we see it or not, we see a Nigeria that is better for us. We see an Africa that is better for us. Thank you all and have a good day.
Thank you.